Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 3. Before we get into it, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post a video. And also make sure to get down in them comments so we can discuss. So we start off this episode with Vernon and Martin. So we see Vernon and Martin at Martin's, and Martin is asking him things about the campaign and just like discussing campaign things with him or whatever. And Vernon sees through it because he's just like, "Sir, you got a campaign manager. Like, I know that's not why you called me over." So he thanks him for reaching out to him and checking on him. And he's just like, my focus is Anita, basically. So he was just like, well, since I'm here, we doing campaign things, let's do a mock town hall. So he was just like, I'll be one of your constituents. So Vernon starts to ask him questions, and Martin is answering it. And then Vernon is giving pushback, like, how you would see at a town hall. Well, I don't know if you'll see. Well, it is what it is. But he's giving him pushback, and the way he's talking, Martin is just like, wait, hold up. Are you thinking about coming back into office? Like, is that what we doing? And Vernon is just like, no, my focus is Anita, and basically, I am here to be Anita's husband. Like, with everything that's going on, I'm not trying to pull on that. That is not my ministry. So he thanks him, again, for checking on him. We then see Nicole and Vanessa, and they're at the club, and Nicole is asking Vanessa how she's doing with her mom boyfriend and whatever. She's getting snippy with her, and Vanessa's just like, what's going on with you? So she tells her, like, everything that's going on with Anita having cancer and then the BRCA gene. And Vanessa's just like, okay, so what are we gonna do? What's next? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? Are we like, what are we doing? Like, are you throwing your name around, like, so they can speed up the testing? Like, what's up? And Nicole is just like, no, I'm not, but our family is we have a bunch of charities where we, like, deal with medical and stuff like that. I mean, sorry, not with medical, but with like the arts and stuff like that, because of Anita, and politics because of Vernon. But we don't. There's not a lot that happens with health, or health wise or whatever. And she's just like, we're lucky, but there's a lot of other people who aren't so lucky. And she wants to, like, do more for charities, and like, she wants to, she's like, I want to do more for, not charities, but for like cancer research with medical. And she just wants to give back more for that. So she leaves, and we see Vanessa running to Joey, and she calls Joey before she leaves, and was just like, I really need to talk to you, something's going on. And Joey is just like, he's like, while he's talking, like, when he gets the call, he's with Malone, because he and Malone were meeting, and Malone was just checking to make sure that no one will find out what, like, their parts in what happened with Doug. And Malone is basically checking, like, you getting head over heels for this woman, make sure you got your ducks in a row, and, like, be careful. And Joey is basically telling her, remember your place, like, remember, you're my enforcer, not the other way around. Like, I'm the boss. Know your place, basically. So Vanessa shows up, and she's crying or whatever, and he's just like, what's wrong? And she tells him about Anita, and he's just like, I can't believe the great Anita Dupree has cancer. And he comforts her or whatever. And then she tells him, I really want you to go into business with Leslie on this free clinic. And it's like, here she go being the op again. But yeah, so anyways, so we then see Eva and Izaiah, they're at Orphe Jeans and they're, flirting with each other, talking about, the next steps for them and what they are deciding on what they want to do, and what it will look like with them being with each other and how much they like each other. And Eva is basically saying, I have low self esteem because of X, Y, and Z. So it's hard for me to hear somebody that really likes me and all this other stuff. And it's just like, girl, your mama did a number on you. And I hate that for you because this man is giving you the bare minimum. Like, honestly, like, I mean, although you're getting more from him than you got with Tomas, um, it's like y'all ain't even been to, like, he's only been in town for a couple of months, or has it even been a couple, like maybe it been 2 months and you already sleeping with him and doing all of, and it's just like, at least with Tomas, y'all built up a connection. Like, y'all ain't had no real connection. Like, but I digress. While we're in Orphe Jeans, we also see Tyrell and Jessica, and they're talking about, the cotillion, and she's talking about how she doesn't want to be a part of it, and she can't wait till she goes to college so she can be with real people and all this other stuff. And she says something to the effect of, because Tyrell was talking about how Samantha was gonna do stuff with Gran, but because Great Gran has cancer, is like, it's been cut down, and Samantha is like, well, maybe that's a good thing with her getting cancer. And he was just like, what we talked about etiquette class, maybe you should take some, because it was just like, ma'am, are you okay? Like, that's where we went. And look, I like Jessica and Tyrell, but I'm so confused on her because, like, okay, you grew up in this lifestyle, but was it that bad that you're complaining about everything that's happening with this lifestyle? Like, I'm so confused. Like, I need to know her backstory and what happened to her to make her dislike dislike her upbringing. Like, you had it made. Like, why are you so, like, I don't know. I Hopefully we get some more into seeing why she feels the way she feels, but right now it's just like, girl, you just seem like one of those people who had it made, and now you're complaining about it, and now you want to go try it out in the slums and all this other stuff, but you gonna run back to being the uppity person that you are, or like you try to put on a front that you don't want to be uppity but you really are uppity. And it's like, I don't get it. But so they see Eva and Tomas, no, not Tomas, Eva and Izaiah. So Tyrell introduces Izaiah to Jessica to, like, talk to her about Banneker, because he wants to go to Banneker and she wants to go to UCLA. And he's like, kind of sort of wanting to go to UCLA because of her or whatever. So they talk about that, and he's telling her, like, there are all types of people that come to Banneker. It's not just the uppity people. They got people from all walks of life. They go there. And she's telling, and then they talk about the cotillion or whatever. And Eva's just like, oh, I heard about that, da 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 da. And it's just like, I feel like, she gonna be at the cotillion either way it goes, like, because that is her niece and it's gonna be something. But whatever. So they're talking, and Jessica is telling him, well, I hope you don't become uppity like them. And he was just like, I'm not. And it's just like, Tyrell, sir. But we see Nicole, she gets home and she sees Laura and Mona, and they're there with flowers, and they're basically telling her that they're going to be there for her and they want to take care of her because she's going to be taking care of everybody else. So they give her a gift for her favorite, I think it was her favorite cook or somebody to come and cook for her or something like that. And she's very appreciative of it. They give each other a hug, and then they discuss about how they first met, Mona and Mona and Nicole, they talk about how they first met, and Nicole was basically like, Kat was all over the place and she just couldn't deal. So she took her to the park and so that she could like run around in the park or whatever. And this was probably when Ted was taking Martin to go get some brownies, but let me stop. But it wasn't. But no, so she had took Kat to the park and she looked down, she was doing work, and then she looked up and she couldn't find Kat. Kat had roamed into the streets or whatever, and she ran into Mona and she pulled Mona to her and was just like, "Oh, come meet my mom so she can be your friend, or what, y'all can be friends and all that other stuff. Since I have friends, my mom needs to have friends," or something like that. And at the time that Mona sorry, at the time that Mona had was like taking a walk and she ran into Kat, she had just lost a friend and she was just really, really down and she didn't know what to do. So she went for the walk. And so when she met Nicole, Nicole had asked her, "How are you doing?" And then they just bonded off of that because, Nicole was a therapist, and Mona needed that. And so they just became friends. And then she became her house manager. And that's how they became friends. So they sorry uh so that's how they get it, and they tell her that they're gonna get through it. They're gonna be there for her again, just like she's being there for everybody else. They're gonna be there for her. I love this scene. I loved hearing about how they met. I love my girl Kat. So sorry. So we get to what else happened? Oh, the big part of this. We see, so this was like the best part of the whole episode. So Tracy comes over to see Anita, and she's checking on her, and she starts to like offend her because she's just like telling her like, I need you to be like, quit being so nonchalant, like fight. Like why aren't you doing anything? You're just sitting there, you're just sitting idle, and you're not being like, you're not being a fighter, you're not doing this. And she was talking about how, you're feeling some type of way about your genes, your messed up genes being sent passed down to your kids. And it was just like, girl, are you okay? You're supposed to be my friend and this is how you talking to me? Like, Tracy, what is going on? So Anita, Anita's just like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, I am fighting. I can't just have a day to be okay. Like, I am fighting. It's not you can't tell me how to fight my fight. Like, I'm gonna fight my fight the way that I see fit. And if me wanting to eat sweets and love up on my husband, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, you can't tell me how to fight my fight. And Tracy is just like, but are you really fighting? And and all this other stuff. And Anita goes off on her. She was just like, I want more. I want to see my daughter. I want to see Naomi go to the Supreme Court. I want to have more grandbabies. I want to love on my husband. I want to grow old with my husband. I want more. And she throws her cup. She throws the teacup that she had in her hand, breaks it, and breaks down, like going off on her. And then they look up and Vernon is there. And Vernon, like, she was just like, I'm so sorry that you had to hear that. And Vernon was just like, no, don't be sorry. This is what we wanted. We want you to fight. We want you to want more. And Tracy was just like, about time. This is the Anita that I've been looking for. I want to see Cabrini Green's Anita. I want her to come out and I want her to fight. And it was just like, girl, I get where you was coming from, but you went about it all wrong. Like, completely wrong. Cause ma'am, you was being very offensive and I would have cussed you out. So they hug, and Tracy's just like, we're all gonna be there for you. We're gonna be here and we're gonna fight for you. We're gonna fight with you. We just don't want you to give up, basically. So they hug, and Nita is, she's feeling better or whatever. So that was the episode. So when I tell you that whole Anita and Tracy scenes was so good, that last scene when Anita went off Tamara Tooney, when I tell you they are coming for the Emmys, like, I am loving it. Chef's kiss, like legit chef's kiss. But yeah, that was the episode. It was like a quiet episode, not a lot like a lot happened. It was a good episode, a quiet episode, like the small moments. That's what this episode was. So yeah, I really liked it. But yeah, so that was it for this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and come down. Turn on your post notifications. Get down in them comments. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Let me know what you thought about Tamara Tooney, because when I say baby was working, baby was working. She was giving that master class in acting this episode. I was just like, yes, ma'am. But I will see you guys in the next one. Side note, I forgot to mention the scene with Martin and Tyrell when Tyrell comes home from his date and he's telling Martin how he feels bad that he's living his life. He's trying to forge his own way, thinking about college and just thinking about all these things when the family is going through what they're going through. And Martin, tells him it's okay. You're supposed to live your life. You're supposed to do those things. We're going to be here to take care of you guys while you're still doing those things. And it's, you can worry about Gran and still live your life. So he makes him feel a little bit better. But yeah, that was the episode. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.